Well, we're definitely excited to get the season started this upcoming Saturday at home. I think we've had a good camp to this point. Our team understands what's at stake every week, and that is trying to prove yourself, go out and play your best brand of football. So we got to do that starting week one. We got an opponent from right up the road in Eastern Kentucky. Had a successful season last year, 6-2 in their conference, went to the playoffs. Coach Wells has done a really good job coaching that football team. They play football the right way. They're fundamentally sound, and they'll come in here hungry and ready to go. So we've got to come out swinging, play our best football. I feel like we've practiced very well to this point, and that we are in good position to go out there and show up on game day and play a good brand of football.
Jeff, obviously, Isaac had a really good year last year. You talked about how you want to get in his hands. Opposing defenses obviously know that. How are you, I guess, kind of preparing him and then just kind of game planning for him being a target for other teams?
One more time, who were you asking about?
Isaac Brown.
Oh, well, I think we've got a good stable running backs. Isaac, of course, leads the way. Duke Watson gives us another really good runner in the backfield. Keywan Brown gives us another element. We try to have good balance. So every week, no matter who we're playing, we've got to be able to throw the ball and run the ball. And whatever a team's doing may dictate what we do more of. But without question, Isaac will, doesn't matter who we play, we'll get plenty of touches. We'll get a chance to show what he's all about. I think he's had a good camp. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands, and we'd be foolish not to make sure he gets enough touches no matter who we play. So I feel confident that we'll be able to do that a lot of different ways, and he'll play good football for us.
Jeff, what questions do you have that you right now that you hope to have answered Saturday?
Well, I think when you get into game setting, you got to see, what guys are going to be able to concentrate, go out there and do the small things correctly and perform come game day. And, when it's time to take the test, you got to show up and you got to ace the test. So really seeing what guys can do that and keep their composure, stay controlled, stay focused and locked in and do it all game. So, we've got a new quarterback. He's got to go out there and execute. He's got to deliver the ball to our playmakers. He's got to have poise in the pocket. We've got an offensive line that's new. They got to be consistent in what they're doing. We don't need a lot of penalties, a lot of holding calls, a lot of false starts, a lot of silly things happen. We've got a receiving core we feel confident about. They got to make plays. They got to show up on game day, and they got to make plays. And that's what playmakers do. And we've talked about our running back crew. I think they'll do a good job. And got to continue to build the tight end room as well, which they need to show up and do good things, but I feel confident they will. And on defense, we've got to eliminate big plays, get pressure on the quarterback, and be consistent in what we're doing. And special teams, we've got to get an advantage. And with all that said, the first week, you sometimes have a lot of turnovers, a lot of fumbles, a lot of miscues, a lot of penalties. We have to try to be as clean as we possibly can week one and not allow that to happen.
Jeff, over the course of fall camp, he had a lot of good things to say about the various defensive position groups. With the season finally here, how bullish are you on that side of the ball for this upcoming season?
Well, we want to perform on defense, and I feel like we're very capable. And we've had a good spring, summer, and fall, and I want to see it on the field. And I think that there's been a lot of hard work put into how can we get better? How can we eliminate big pass plays? How can we still apply pressure on the quarterback? How can we still guard things tighter? How can we be sound in lining up properly, knowing the call, getting set before the ball snapped, being good in our substitutions pattern? All those things have to show up and happen, and I think we've made progress, but still – we can't have a couple costly miscues that'll hurt us. So we've got to just prove it on the game field.
Jeff, throughout the fall camp, looked like you had a pretty impressive group of wide receivers. Curious if you've made a decision or how close you might be to making a decision on who that number 3 might be, and how much of a rotation do you expect at wide receiver?
I think we can play multiple guys. That's a good position for us right now. I think Chris Bell and Colin Lacey are our two most experienced guys. They got to show up and perform. I think they've done outstanding to this point. Trayshawn Hurry is a newcomer that's really stood out and done a really good job. So him and Antonio Meeks will be at the other position and rotating in there quite a bit. Dakari Collins is another addition that has stepped up, and he's got size that the other guys don't have and can really do some good things. And then we've got some other newcomers, and Chris Hughes, who was here last year, that needs to make plays. Terrence McWilliams. So I think that room will get plenty of action, and experience is good, and they got to continue to show out. And then the newcomers have to, get on the game field and produce and know the call and execute it and do all the small things as well.
Jeff, the SEC moved to a 9-game conference schedule. The ACC is talking about doing the same thing. Just what are your thoughts on what that kind of looks like moving forward for you guys?
Well, I'm 100% in favor of moving to 9 games and have been for a while. I think, college football, in my opinion, should, for the good of the game, try to go to where you're scheduling the best opponents every week. And however many games that is, of course, I'm for as many as we possibly can, but I think it's important to play good competition every week for a lot of reasons. I think it's better for your team, and I think it's more enjoyable for the fans, and I think it's better for the game of football. So I hope that continues to happen, and the strength of schedule is something people look at, and we hope to do the same thing. But I'm sure probably we'll get to 9 games here soon as far as in the conference. And out of conference, we've got a good slate of the near future that I would hope that we could continue to play all those games that are on our schedule: Kentucky, Georgia, Texas A&M, and all those.
Jeff, you talked several times in fall camp about finding the right mix at the offensive line. How many guys is the right mix, and do you feel like you're kind of there for a good rotation, opening week?
We have worked through that. I do think anywhere from 7 to 9, I think, are ready right now. That should be able to rotate in the game and play and do a good job. There's some other newcomers that are on the edge that just got to continue to work and get there. That if they see the field, you like to see them produce. So I think it's a good group. We got to keep certain guys healthy without question. Pete Nagar is our starting center. He's a fantastic player, makes all of our calls. He's smart. We need to keep him healthy. And a couple other gentlemen have stepped up and done a good job that we'd like for those to stay healthy as much as we can. But we do have competition there, and we do have some young players that have stepped up and done a good job, and we hope to see that carry over to the game.
How has game week one, opening game for you personally, how has that changed over the years? Do you have a pretty set routine, or do you sleep much the night before? Do you still have nerves? How does it go for you?
Well, I always have nerves. I think nerves are good. So no matter who we're playing, you've got to have some nerves that are kicking in to make sure you're ready to go. I think it motivates you to work harder and to make sure when you go to bed at night, you put in all the work because you never know what can happen. And as soon as you, in my opinion, start feeling great about where you're at, someone will sneak up on you and things will go back the other direction. So I just think you got to all do your part. It's got to mean something to you. It's got to matter. Winning is not easy, so taking all the necessary steps to get there is vital to success for myself, our coaches, our players. And if you think you can take a shortcut, or if you think you can take a deep breath, that's when teams sneak up on you and beat you. So you can't allow that to happen. It's a long season, and every week you got to step up to the plate, whether you've had a good week the week before or whether you've had a bad week that's really not been fun to be a part of a couple days after. You've got to continue to get back up and go to work because anything can happen, and this is a competitive game. And if you coach well, if you work hard, if you come ready to play on game day, you can beat anybody. At the same time, anybody can beat us as well.
You've talked about Miller a bunch, but as you're here on game week, just looking from when he got here in January until now, has he done everything that you wanted him to do at this point?
He has. I mean, for example, before I came down here, this is basically our players' day off on Monday, and he's over here, and our starting center's over here getting in extra work and stopping by to see us, and he's going to do everything he can to perform well. And we know what he needs to continue to work on. We've worked hard at it. Going out there and having poise and having command of the huddle and having command at that position and being able to make good decisions and, pass the ball accurately and, when things don't happen in rhythm, find a way to make a play or at least not do something negatively like an interception or a fumble. We're working on all those things. So I think it's a position you just got to continue to work hard at. Don't ever think you've arrived. Something new will come up, and how you handle that will determine the type of success you have. But he's done a great job to this point, and I'm looking forward to him having a great year.
How much of the running game also rests on quarterback and good decisions and seeing things at the line or choosing the right option play or whatever he's doing? And is Miller kind of in that mold of guys you've had that have done a pretty good job at that?
I think he is. You know, we try to have enough in the running game to throw some people off, and when we get into the ability to check some plays and to change some things, we try to keep it as simple as we can within reason. So I think all of our guys, once they study it, can understand that and execute it. Sometimes as coaches we help them. Well, sometimes we'll tell them what to get into, and we'll control the cadence to make sure that happens. But you know, we were really good in our running game last year. Obviously, our running backs were good. Yeah, the quarterback got us in the right play a few times. Our offensive line did a really good job, and we were really good at tight end. So, you know, being solid at tight end as blocking units to our offense, being a solid fullback when we use one is important. All those different elements to running the ball are important to create holes and to create space for our running backs. So we've got to be good at all those, and we have a few new pieces. You know, Mark Redmond was a great blocker at tight end last year. It really helped us. DJ Martin was a H-back fullback that was really, really good at blocking. And while our offensive line and running backs did great, those two components are not here, and we've got to get other components step in that can help us in the running game.
Jeff, you mentioned Eastern Kentucky and Coach Wells. Back in when you were playing, they were a program, a lower level program that dominated. They've kind of regained a little bit that the last couple of years. What have you seen, and how do you? I guess first of all, how do you scout the first game when there's a lot of newcomers, a lot of different guys, and what have you seen with them and with Coach Wells and what he's done?
Well, Coach Wells has done a great job. I know him personally. He loves football. He loves the game. Really works hard to do. Put his team in the best position to succeed. Of course, growing up, Coach Kidd was a tremendous coach there for years, and they've always played a good brand of football. So, like everything, I've been at Western Kentucky. You know, when you're there, you got a chip on your shoulder. You're hungry. You're out to prove, what type of football you can play. So, anytime you get a chance to play against, a Power 4 opponent, you're going to be ready to go. And these players will be licking their lips and ready to play football and show what they can do, and I'm sure Coach will have them ready to do that. So we've got to understand that like I said, on any given day, anything can happen, and we've got to step up to the challenge and be really good and be sharp and execute and make plays and be precise in what we're doing because without question, EKU will come in here hungry, ready to play. Okay, thank you.